Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Neil and today this is the first ever episode on the channel called Gear Chat. Gear Chat is something that I've started to do on the channel, at least I'm going to try it out. This is obviously episode 1, so thank you for turning up and watching. And it's just me talking about gear and various other things. Today I want to tackle something that I think is important, or at least it's become more and more important to me to talk about with you guys, and that is what it's like to be me doing what I do and being a YouTube guitarist or a YouTuber, which is not something, it's not a term that I really like, to be honest. I'm just a guitarist that stopped gigging a few years ago and started a YouTube channel instead, because I don't want to stop playing guitar, but also I don't want to drive around the UK or anywhere else for that matter and do the whole gigging thing. And also financially it was getting really expensive, you know, doing that. Paying for a studio alone every year was pretty expensive. Then touring with whatever your and promoting whatever your release is, you know, you were never making money in that band. Even though my band was doing pretty well, it moved quite a lot of CDs. I think our best year we moved 300 CDs. That's pretty good for a bunch of nobodies. You know, played Download Festival a couple of times, got some decent gigs, things like that, got some cool endorsements and things behind us, been on TV. You know, all these things happened, but still we weren't making any money. So I do miss playing live, but in some ways I don't miss it that much because I can't afford to do it anymore, you know. Anyhow, what I wanted to talk about is, can you trust YouTubers, and YouTubers particularly that are doing demos or reviews? I don't think really my channel does reviews. I consider it to just do demos. Excuse me. Now, I think there's a difference between reviews and demos. Reviews are when somebody gives you their opinion, which I guess I do because you can tell whether I'm excited or whether I like something or not in the video. But reviewers, when they give you their opinion and tell you whether a product, whatever it may be, is good or bad. Whereas I like to think that I just play the thing, whatever it may be, guitar, pedal, amp, whatever, and leave it up to you guys to decide. Now, I can't rig. I've been accused of rigging demos ages ago by a couple of guys that were like ganging up on me on the internet. And like, I don't know how you can really rig a demo. Like, it comes out what it sounds like. When you've just got a mic in front of a speaker and that goes into a mixer and the mixer goes into an iPhone, like, I can't rig that. What can I do with that? I can't rig that demo. I can't make one amp sound better than the other. If it does sound better than the other, then it does in the demo and I can't do anything about it. So that's just a load of garbage, is that. And also, as consumers, we all have our own minds, and when we watch a YouTube video, even if the YouTuber tells us something is awesome, it doesn't matter because you're still going to hear the product in the demo and make your own mind up anyway. So regardless of whether the YouTube guy or girl tells you that something's great, and whether they're even getting money from the brand, which we'll come to in a minute, doesn't really matter because you're still going to make a decision whether you like the sound in the video or not, and that will make you decide whether or not you like the product and whether you're going to buy it. Now, what I want to say is the whole paid promotion thing. I don't know if you've noticed, but at the start of all my videos a little thing comes up saying paid promotion. Now, the reason that shows up is not because I'm getting paid really. I've been paid about 3 times in my whole YouTube life, but basically the paid promotion thing that comes up at the beginning of videos is such a misunderstood thing, particularly by people who think they know all about YouTubers but they actually don't. When that paid promotion comes up, and I'm just uploading a video now, which is why I decided to do this video, I have to either tick this paid promotion box here, which I'll put a screenshot of on the screen, or not tick it. I choose to tick it because if I tick that box, 1, I'm sticking to YouTube guidelines, and 2, I am also being honest with you guys. Now, you might think because it lights up saying paid promotion that I'm getting paid, but I'm not, okay? Not necessarily. It says here, when you tick the box, next to the box it says, my video contains paid promotion like a product placement, sponsorship or endorsement. Right, let's talk about product placement first of all. So product placement, like, I don't know whether you can see the desk, but there's a Blackstar dual distortion here. It's actually a mess, my desk. Sonic 8, Sonic IR there, a 2 Notes Revolt there that's just turned up today, a Capture X there, a Mac here, a number 1 Dad Cup here, and that is all product placement. I mean, I've not put any of that there as product placement, but it's just there, okay? Now, when you go to the movies and you watch a guy in a film, Arnold Schwarzenegger, answering a phone, and it's an iPhone or a Samsung phone, that's product placement, just the same. Now, this is unintentional product placement, what you're seeing in my video. I have to film somewhere, obviously, and there's always going to be things in the background, and I'm pretty sure you guys would rather see amps and gear in the background rather than a sideboard or a kitchen table. So that's what product placement means. The next thing is sponsorship. Sponsorship is what you guys are talking about. That is, in my eyes, paid promotion, which is what causes all this misunderstanding. We're all ticking this box if we're doing the job right, which says paid promotion, and I'll tell you in a minute why I tick the box. But it says sponsorship there, which means a brand will sponsor your video and they will basically pay you for making the video. Now, when that happens, it's happened on my channel twice, not to do with gear. It happened to do with a digital company, and I actually say at the beginning of the video, this video is sponsored by blah blah blah, and I'm open and honest about that. And I think the rules are that you have to be, I think if it's a sponsored video, you actually have to say this video is sponsored by, and you have to do it within the first minute or something. That's YouTube laws that not many people stick to. Same with this paid promotion thing. Now we're moving on to the next bit, which also comes under the paid promotion banner, which I have to tick, and this is why I tick it. Endorsement. So my video contains paid promotion like a product placement, sponsorship or endorsement. Right, so let's look at something here. The Blackstar Amp 2, which was my last video, I think, before making this one, that video was, I ticked paid promotion like I do on them all now, but I wasn't paid for doing that video. However, if I'm sat here, then there's EVHs in the background there, and I'm an EVH artist. Well, I think I am. I used to be. I don't know. I'm assuming I still am because no one said that I'm not. But there's EVH amps behind me, and they are through an endorsement. And that endorsement, that was running way before I even started a YouTube channel. So I have to tick this box because even if I'm not playing an EVH, there's still an EVH in the background which could be considered product placement, and it is through an endorsement. Okay, so all those artists out there that are ticking paid promotion, some of them will be ticking it because there's product placement there, so a brand is saying wear our t-shirt and we'll pay you, or there is sponsorship where somebody's just getting paid outright, hundreds of pounds it can be, just to make a video, depending on how big they are as a YouTuber. And then there is this endorsement thing, which is why I mainly tick it, because I do have endorsements there and they are in the background, and I do use it as my backdrop because I don't want you to see me stood in front of a bloody kitchen table. So that's basically it. I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's so misunderstood. And I think anytime you say, oh, brands sent me this to demo, I think people just assume you're getting paid straight away, and a lot of the time you're not. Now, I know people, oh, I've got a snotty nose, it's that cold in here. Now, the thing is with this situation is that if I make a YouTube video, it could take me 6 to 8 hours. If it's one that has a track at the beginning with me playing along, that could take 6 to 8 hours by the time I've written the track, which could be 4 guitar tracks, a bass, drums, all written on the day, recorded on the day. Then I would talk like I am now, and that needs editing. And then I would probably play through whatever the product is raw, you know, in no mix, just jam along. And that needs editing too. And that's why it takes 6 to 8 hours if you do the job properly and have good audio and everything. Obviously, if a brand comes to me and says, Neil, will you do a video of this product? We're going to pay you. I'm not going to say no in a million years. And I don't believe anybody would either. I don't believe any guitarist would say no, because I don't know any guitarists that are not obsessed with gear. So if somebody says, here's a new product, do you want to try it out? I don't believe any guitarist would go, no, tar. I don't think I want to try that product that no one's ever heard before. I don't think any guitarist would say no to any brand that said, would you like to see this new exclusive piece of gear and play it and let us know what you think about it? All we ask is for you to film it. I don't believe there are many guitarists that would say no, because most guitarists I know are obsessed with gear. But also, if that brand approached somebody and said, oh, by the way, do you want to check out this new piece of gear and we're going to pay you as well to do it? So basically, play around with this piece of gear, film it, edit it, chop it together so it's watchable, and we're going to pay you. Who the hell's going to say no? You know, and also in this day and age, it's so hard to make money as a musician, which is why I just had to quit being in a band. It was taking up so much time, stress, traveling, and I was at a loss. Obviously, by the time you've traveled somewhere to a gig and you get paid, even if you do get paid, the petrol money and everything, it just doesn't work out in your favor unless you can shift a ton of merch. But the point is that I'm trying to make is that I wouldn't ever begrudge any guitarist or YouTuber that makes money from playing guitar. Can you imagine being a professional YouTuber, which I'm not, and sit down and just play your guitar, film it, and be making money from it whilst using all this fancy new gear that's sent to you direct from the brands? To me, you know, good luck to anybody that is good enough or has made it. And good luck to anybody who's making money from playing guitar, which is their passion, or using gear, or demonstrating gear, which also is their passion. Good luck to anybody who can do that and does do that, is what I say, because there's not much money to be made in the guitar playing world unless you are really a guitar teacher of some sort, or a session musician, or just if your band has been super lucky to get the right musicians in at the right time and make a really good album. But even then, you're still footing the initial bill of the recording and everything, because labels want it to be top quality now. So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. That's the way I feel about it. It doesn't mean everybody feels the same way about it. I guess you guys would say if someone's getting paid for a review, it's bias, and it might be even. Some guys might actually lie, and they might sit there in front of the camera and going, this is a good piece of gear, and I you know, it's the best thing since sliced bread, when it might not be if they're getting paid. But it still doesn't change the demo. It still doesn't make that gear sound any better or any worse to you as a consumer. So yeah, I wanted to get that off my chest. And also I want to answer now at the end of the video a quick question about my amps, because I get this question like every day now, especially over the last couple of months for some reason. Which amp is your favorite out of all the amps behind you? That's an unanswerable question, if that is a real word, because obviously I have such amazing amps here, and sometimes I'm in the mood for a 6505, sometimes I'm in the mood for the JVM, sometimes the JSX I'm in the mood for. Same with cabs. I might be in the mood to use a different cab sometimes, or different IRs or whatever, you know. It depends what mood I'm in to what I use. Obviously I like them all because I own them all. I regret selling my rectifier. I love that thing. I really wish I could have that back. But I mean, if we're looking at, obviously some amps behind me also are better in some situations than other amps. So for instance, the EVH 5150L34S here in the room with a band sounds bigger, fuller, fatter, thicker than any of these other amps. And it sounds, if I keep cranking that thing, like I can drown the whole band out, the bass and everything. I'll never forget the first time I used that at rehearsal, and everyone was moaning like mad. You could basically hear me and bits of cymbals and nothing else, but I couldn't stop turning it up because I just loved it. It was shaking, the whole room was shaking and everything. There was no bass in the mix. I just killed it. But yeah, that's the fullest, thickest, most three-dimensional sounding head out of them all. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the best tone, but it's just the power of it in that band situation at a rehearsal or live is just, I just love it. I think it also sounds fuller through a mic. So that would be my favourite amp probably to use live, but it's heavy as hell. And half the time when I did play live, I used a 50 watt EVH because they're just so easy. Those minis, obviously the 50 watt minis there, are small, quite light actually. You can move around with them a lot, getting them on and off stage and just put them in one hand without any hassle. They're kind of medium sized, and that was just perfect for me. And they still had enough balls to satisfy me in that way too. Now, the JSX here is probably my second favourite head in that situation. I just love the tone of that head. The Active EQ, I think, is what does it for me. It sounds great. It's got something about it that's really lively and lifelike, and even without a boost, I really love that amp a lot. Shame I'm not in a band now to actually try it in that situation, but I'm sure it would be great. So that would probably be my second choice. Then after that would probably be both Peaveys, but if, like I say, I was wanting to something small and light and I was playing live, I'd probably take the Mini because it's just easier. The Marshall here, the JVM, I love it. Sometimes I love it, and sometimes I just think it's, excuse me, I'm gagging. Oh, God. Yeah, the Marshall JVM here, sometimes I absolutely love it, and sometimes I just think it's all right. I never hate it. With the Captor X, it's one of the best heads to use with a low box. I find it super tight with a boost in front and with an IR. Really good for recording. In the room, it's nice as well. It's got tons of games. Again, a bit fizzy sometimes, but you can get it modded actually. Dan Gower does a mod and it opens it up a bit more in the mids. But again, a great head. Both Peaveys there, 6505s. You know, what can you say about them? They're just awesome heads. They have been for years. They will be forever, you know, they'll never disappear, they'll never go anywhere. They're awesome, legendary heads, and I could use either of them in any situation, actually. They work well with an IR loader like the Tunox Captor X, and they also work well, obviously, live. They sound massive. Once you get a Peavey to, there's a magic area, 4.5, I used to call it, which is stupidly loud, but when you get it up there, or anywhere above 4, really, the Peavey 6505s just go to another level as far as low end and things like that are concerned. So yeah, the Blackstar I won't mention. There's a Blackstar HD100 Mark II down there. No point mentioning because that is actually not my amp. That's just a loan amp for me to try out and demo for you guys. But yeah, hope that answers some questions for you guys. Let me know if you enjoyed Gear Chat. I know we talked about YouTube in this video for a long time more than gear, but the next Gear Chats will be all about gear. Let me know what you think about the amps behind me, if you own any of them, and which one you think you prefer. Eventually, I will be doing a shootout of all these amps, but it's such a massive video to do that it will take some time. And if I use an IR loader, like the Tunox Captor X to do that video, someone's going to moan that I didn't mic the cab. If I mic the cab, someone's going to moan that it's not on 4.5, which I can't possibly put amps on 4 or 5 in the house. Jesus Christ, it'll blow the damn place to bits, you know. Also, I proved in another demo anyway that a 100 watt head, i.e. the EL34S, which is my biggest sounding head regardless of anything, whatever volume, it sounds bigger on 1 and it sounds bigger on 4 or 5 or whatever as well. So I don't think that changes. I know some amps have like a kick that kicks in with the power section when they're really cranked up, but those amps also usually sound pretty good at lower volumes. There's plenty of tube amps out there that can't cut it at 1, 2, 3 or 4 on the dial with a 6505 or an EVH. You know, there's plenty of amps out there that are sold as tube amps. Just because I've got tubes in doesn't mean they can cut it with the big boys. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. I'm going to get the hell out of here, and please tune in again to watch Gear Chat number 2. See you soon.